The person who stays calm always has an advantage over the person who loses control. A calm mind sees solutions that a restless mind can never find. Every difficult situation tests your emotions before it tests your ability. Most people believe stress, anger, and worry are caused by life itself. The truth is much simpler. They are often created by the way we respond to life. The moment you learn to stay calm, you stop giving your problems the power to control your decisions. That one skill can change your relationships, your work, your confidence, and your future. So why do some people remain steady while everything around them feels uncertain? How do they make smart decisions under pressure while others panic? What habits allow them to stay peaceful without pretending life is easy? In this audiobook, you will discover practical answers that you can use every single day. You will learn how to control your thoughts before they control you, handle pressure without losing confidence, release worry that serves no purpose, and build the quiet habits that create lasting inner peace. These are not empty motivational ideas. They are practical lessons you can apply at home, at work, and in every difficult moment. Listen closely until the end, because one calm decision can change the direction of your entire life, and that decision begins today. Chapter 1. Pause first, before doing anything else. Calm people are not born with a special gift. They build one simple habit that changes the way they face every difficult moment. The habit of pausing before acting gives them more control over their thoughts than most people ever realize. That small space between a problem and a response often decides the quality of the result. A peaceful life is not created by avoiding pressure. It is created by learning what to do during pressure. Most people believe they lose control because life becomes too difficult. The real reason is much simpler. Their mind moves faster than their judgment. A loud comment from someone at work, a message that brings bad news, a mistake that costs money, a family disagreement. In just a few seconds, the brain pushes the body toward an instant reaction. The voice becomes louder. The breathing becomes shorter. The face becomes tense. The heart beats faster. Many people believe these reactions are automatic and impossible to change. They are automatic only because they have been repeated for many years without awareness. The first skill of staying calm is not controlling the outside world. It is controlling the first few seconds inside yourself. Those first moments decide whether the situation becomes bigger or smaller. Many arguments begin in less than 10 seconds. Many regrets are created in less than 1 minute. Most people spend hours repairing damage that could have been prevented by one short pause. That is why learning to stop for a moment is not weakness. It is one of the strongest forms of self-control a person can develop. Here is something that many people never notice. Your body always reacts before your mind explains what happened. A loud sound makes you jump before you understand it. A sharp criticism makes your muscles tighten before you decide how to answer. This is normal. Your brain was designed to protect you quickly. The problem appears when you allow that first reaction to make every decision. The body can send an alarm even when there is no real danger. Understanding this changes everything, because it helps you stop blaming yourself. Your body is doing its job. Now your mind must do its job. The pause is the moment where your thinking catches up with your emotions. It may last only 3 seconds. It may last 10 seconds. That short time gives your brain a chance to gather facts instead of following fear or anger. People who appear calm are often using this invisible habit. Others believe they are naturally patient. The truth is, they have trained themselves to wait before speaking or acting. They know that quick reactions often create slow problems. Try observing people during everyday situations. One person receives criticism and immediately argues. Another person hears the same words and quietly listens before replying. The difference is rarely intelligence. The difference is timing. One person reacts during emotion, the other responds after emotion settles. That small difference creates completely different results. Better conversations, better decisions, better relationships, better peace of mind. Many people confuse pausing with doing nothing. These are not the same. Doing nothing means avoiding responsibility. Pausing means preparing yourself to handle responsibility better. A calm pause is active. Your mind begins collecting useful information. What actually happened? What facts do I know? What emotions am I feeling? What result do I want? These thoughts happen quickly once you practice them. Instead of becoming trapped by emotion, you become guided by purpose. There is another important lesson that most people never hear. Strong emotions reduce your ability to notice important details. During anger, your attention becomes narrow. During fear, your imagination often creates problems that do not exist. During stress, your memory becomes less reliable. This explains why people sometimes forget simple things while feeling overwhelmed. They are not becoming less capable. Their attention has simply been taken over by emotion. A short pause allows attention to return where it belongs. A practical exercise begins with ordinary daily moments instead of major problems. Every time your phone rings, stop for 1 second before answering. Every time someone calls your name, pause before replying. Before opening an important message, take one slow breath. Before walking into a meeting, stand still for a brief moment. These small exercises train your brain without pressure. Later, during serious situations, your mind already knows what to do because it has practiced hundreds of small pauses. Many people wait for a crisis before trying to become calm. That approach usually fails because new habits are difficult during high pressure. Calm is developed during ordinary days. Every small delay before reacting becomes another lesson for the brain. Every peaceful response becomes another piece of evidence that patience works. This is how confidence grows, not through positive thinking alone, but through repeated successful experience. Pay attention to your breathing during stressful moments. Most people do not notice that they begin breathing faster and more shallow. Faster breathing sends another message to the brain that something dangerous is happening. The body responds with even more tension. This creates a cycle that becomes difficult to stop. One slow, deep breath begins breaking that cycle. Your shoulders relax, your jaw softens, your heartbeat slowly settles. Your thinking becomes clearer. The situation outside may not change yet, but the situation inside already has. Another useful practice is learning to delay your first sentence. Most regrets come from words spoken too early. Very few regrets come from waiting a few extra seconds. Silence often feels uncomfortable because people fear appearing weak. Real strength often looks quiet. A person who chooses careful words usually earns greater respect than someone who speaks without control. Every conversation improves when the first sentence is thoughtful instead of emotional. Notice what happens inside your body during frustration. Your hands may tighten, your stomach may feel heavy, your face may become warm. These physical signals arrive before emotional explosions. They are early warning signs. Most people ignore them because they only focus on the situation outside. Calm people notice their own body first. They recognize tension before it becomes anger. This gives them another opportunity to pause before losing control. There is also value in changing your physical position. Stand up if you have been sitting for a long time. Sit down if you have been pacing around. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your hands. Look around the room instead of staring at one object. These simple actions tell your brain that you are taking control instead of being controlled. Your body and mind constantly influence each other. A calmer body helps create calmer thoughts. One hidden reason people react too quickly is the fear of appearing slow. They believe every answer must come immediately. This pressure creates unnecessary mistakes. Some of the most respected leaders quietly take a moment before responding. They understand that people remember good decisions longer than fast decisions. Speed impresses people for a moment. Wisdom earns trust for years. Daily life provides endless opportunities to practice this lesson. Someone cuts in front of you while driving. Pause. A family member forgets something important. Pause. A customer speaks harshly. Pause. A co-worker misunderstands your words. Pause. These ordinary situations become your personal training ground. Each successful pause strengthens the habit until calm becomes more natural than reacting. Another surprising fact is that emotional control saves physical energy. Every angry reaction consumes energy. Every stressful argument leaves the body tired. Every unnecessary conflict drains attention that could have been used for meaningful work or joyful experiences. Calm people often finish the day with more energy because they waste less of it fighting battles that never needed to happen. The goal is not becoming emotionless. Emotions contain valuable information. Anger may reveal unfair treatment. Fear may reveal genuine risk. Sadness may reveal something important that deserves attention. The pause simply gives you time to understand the message before deciding what action deserves your energy. Emotions become helpful servants instead of careless leaders. Over time, this habit changes your identity. People begin trusting your judgment because you remain steady during pressure. Family members feel safer talking with you because they know you listen before reacting. Friends notice your patience. Co-workers rely on your balanced thinking. The greatest change happens inside you. Problems stop controlling your emotions because your first response is no longer automatic. Your first response becomes intentional. Every calm pause becomes another quiet victory that strengthens the person you are becoming. Chapter 2. Calm your thoughts before problems grow. A peaceful mind solves more problems than a busy mind. Clear thinking creates better choices because it allows you to see what is actually happening instead of what fear wants you to believe. Every difficult situation begins in the outside world, but it becomes larger or smaller inside your own mind. The way you manage your thoughts decides how much control you keep over your emotions. Most problems do not become overwhelming in the first minute. They become overwhelming because the mind keeps adding new stories to them. One unexpected bill becomes a belief that your future is ruined. One mistake at work becomes a fear that you will lose everything. One uncomfortable conversation becomes proof that people no longer respect you. None of these conclusions are facts. They are thoughts created before enough information exists. This is why learning to calm your thinking is one of the most practical skills you can develop. It protects your judgment before fear takes control. Your mind has a natural habit of filling empty spaces with assumptions. Whenever information is missing, your brain tries to complete the picture. Sometimes this helps you react quickly. Other times it creates unnecessary stress. Someone does not answer your message. Instead of waiting, the mind begins creating explanations. Someone walks past without greeting you. The mind immediately searches for reasons. Most of those reasons are completely invented. Hours later, you may discover that the person was simply distracted or busy. The stress was real, but the reason for the stress never existed. This is why calm people ask themselves one simple question before believing every thought. They ask whether they are looking at facts or only at assumptions. That question sounds ordinary, but it changes the direction of the mind. Facts are solid, assumptions are uncertain. A calm mind learns to separate the two. The more often you practice this habit, the less power unnecessary worry has over your daily life. Another lesson that deserves attention is that thoughts become stronger every time you repeat them. The brain pays attention to repetition. Whatever you repeat often begins to feel true, even when there is little evidence. A person who repeatedly tells themselves that everything is going wrong will slowly begin noticing only negative details. At the same time, positive opportunities become almost invisible. This is not because they disappeared. It is because attention follows repeated thinking. For this reason, protecting your thoughts is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing useful thinking instead of harmful thinking. Useful thinking looks for solutions. Harmful thinking keeps searching for new reasons to feel defeated. One approach moves life forward. The other keeps life standing still. Every day, your mind quietly asks what it should focus on. The answer comes from the thoughts you practice most often. Pay close attention to the first 5 minutes after something unexpected happens. Those minutes often decide the emotional direction of the entire day. Many people immediately begin talking about the problem with anyone who will listen. They repeat every detail several times. Every repetition makes the event feel even larger. Instead, spend those first few minutes becoming calm before explaining anything. Sit quietly. Breathe slowly. Observe what happened without adding dramatic language. This allows your emotions to settle before your words shape the experience. There is another habit that keeps problems growing faster than necessary. Many people try to solve every future problem at the same time. One challenge appears today, but the mind immediately jumps weeks or months ahead. Instead of dealing with one issue, it creates 10 imaginary situations that have not happened. This creates mental exhaustion because the brain begins carrying weight that does not exist yet. A calmer approach is much more effective. Handle only the part that belongs to today. Tomorrow will provide new information. Next week may bring unexpected opportunities. Next month may solve concerns that seem impossible today. The future changes every day because your actions today influence what comes next. Worrying about distant possibilities steals attention from the only place where real progress can happen, which is the present moment. Many people believe they need perfect certainty before feeling calm. Real life rarely offers complete certainty. Waiting for every answer means waiting forever. Calm people accept that some questions remain unanswered for a while. They continue working, learning, and improving while uncertainty exists. This ability reduces unnecessary emotional pressure because they stop demanding complete control over every outcome. One practical exercise is to slow your thinking by writing instead of only thinking. Take a notebook and describe the situation using simple facts. Write only what you know for certain. Then write what you are assuming. This separates reality from imagination in a very clear way. Many people are surprised to discover that most of their stress comes from assumptions instead of facts. Seeing those words on paper often removes emotional confusion that felt impossible to organize inside the mind. Your environment also influences the quality of your thoughts more than most people realize. Constant noise, endless notifications, and non-stop information leave the brain with little opportunity to become quiet. Many people believe they cannot think clearly because they lack discipline. Sometimes they simply lack silence. Spending even 10 minutes without unnecessary noise allows your attention to recover. During that quiet time, many problems begin looking smaller because your mind is no longer overloaded. Notice how different your thinking becomes after a good night's sleep compared with late at night. The same problem often feels much heavier when your body is tired. This teaches an important lesson. Not every thought deserves immediate trust. Some thoughts are created by exhaustion rather than reality. Before making important decisions during emotional or physical fatigue, give yourself time to recover. Rest often improves judgment more than endless thinking. Another overlooked practice is choosing your words carefully, even during private conversations with yourself. Many people speak to themselves with unnecessary harshness. They call themselves failures after one mistake. They describe temporary setbacks as permanent disasters. These words slowly shape emotional habits. Replace exaggerated language with accurate language. Instead of saying everything is ruined, describe the specific challenge. Instead of saying you always fail, identify the one mistake that needs improvement. Accurate language creates accurate thinking. It is also useful to recognize that not every thought deserves your attention. People often believe they must examine every idea that enters the mind. That is unnecessary. Thoughts arrive continuously. Some are useful, some are random. Some are based on old fears that no longer match your current life. Calm people become selective. They choose which thoughts deserve energy and which ones should quietly disappear without further attention. There is a practical habit that strengthens this skill every single day. Before reacting emotionally, describe the situation using only one short sentence. Keep that sentence simple and factual. The shorter and clearer it becomes, the easier it is to understand what actually needs attention. Long emotional stories often hide simple problems. Clear thinking removes unnecessary confusion. Relationships improve greatly when you calm your thoughts before speaking. Many disagreements become larger because people respond to what they assumed instead of what was actually said. Listening carefully saves many conversations from becoming unnecessary conflicts. A calm listener often discovers that the other person was trying to explain rather than attack. This simple difference changes the entire direction of the discussion. Another valuable lesson is that your attention works like a limited resource. Every unnecessary worry uses part of that resource. By evening, people often feel mentally exhausted without accomplishing much because their attention has been consumed by imagined situations instead of meaningful action. Protecting your attention is therefore not only about productivity, it is also about emotional health. A focused mind experiences less confusion because it spends more time solving and less time worrying. Your daily routine quietly trains your thinking. Beginning every morning by immediately reading upsetting news or endless social media gives your brain emotional stimulation before it has even settled into the day. Instead, begin with a few peaceful minutes. Drink water slowly, stretch your body, read something educational, review your most important task. These simple actions create a calmer mental direction before outside events begin competing for your attention. The people around you also influence how your thoughts grow. Some individuals constantly magnify every difficulty. Others naturally search for practical solutions. Spend enough time with negative thinking, and your own thoughts begin following the same pattern. Spend time with calm and thoughtful people, and you begin noticing healthier ways of responding. Your mind learns from repeated exposure whether you realize it or not. Every challenge gives you two opportunities. One is to strengthen fear. The other is to strengthen wisdom. The choice is made by the quality of your thinking during the first moments after difficulty appears. Calm thoughts do not remove every problem, but they prevent small problems from becoming unnecessary suffering. Each time you guide your mind back toward facts, patience, and purposeful action, you become stronger than the situation trying to disturb your peace. Over time, this steady practice becomes part of your character, allowing you to face ordinary days and unexpected hardships with the same quiet confidence and clear judgment. Chapter 3. Trust yourself during difficult moments daily. Self-trust is built through daily actions rather than lucky outcomes. Calm people remain steady because they believe they can handle challenges even before they know exactly how everything will turn out. That confidence is not based on perfection. It grows from keeping small promises to themselves every single day. Every difficult moment becomes easier when you know you can depend on your own judgment, instead of waiting for someone else to rescue you. Many people search for confidence in the wrong places. They wait for praise from others. They hope success will erase every doubt. They believe confidence arrives after everything becomes easy. Real confidence works in the opposite direction. It begins long before success appears. It grows every time you make a thoughtful decision, complete a responsibility, or recover from a mistake without giving up. These ordinary moments slowly convince your mind that you are capable of facing whatever comes next. Sometimes, one reason people lose their peace during pressure is because they question themselves at the exact moment they need clear thinking. They stop trusting their experience. They begin comparing themselves with everyone around them. Suddenly, every decision feels risky because they no longer believe in their own ability to choose wisely. This creates confusion that often becomes worse than the original problem. The challenge outside remains the same, but uncertainty inside continues growing. There is an important lesson that many people never learn. Your mind remembers how you treated yourself during previous failures. Every time you attacked yourself after making a mistake, your brain learned that failure was dangerous. The next challenge then feels much more frightening because your mind expects another round of self-criticism. This is why being fair with yourself after mistakes is not about lowering standards. It is about creating an environment where learning becomes possible. A person who trusts themselves does not pretend they always have the right answer. They simply believe they can figure things out step by step. That belief removes a huge amount of pressure. Instead of demanding perfect decisions, they focus on making reasonable decisions with the information available today. This approach keeps the mind flexible. It allows improvement instead of fear. Think about how children learn new skills. They fall many times before walking steadily. They make countless mistakes before reading smoothly. They do not expect perfection on the first attempt. Adults often forget this lesson. They expect themselves to perform perfectly in situations they have never faced before. This expectation creates unnecessary disappointment. Growth has always depended on practice, correction, and patience. That truth never changes, regardless of age. One practical habit that strengthens self-trust is making small decisions without constantly asking for approval. Decide what book to read. Choose how to organize your day. Plan your weekend with purpose. Solve simple problems on your own before seeking advice. These everyday choices quietly train your judgment. The more often you practice independent thinking, the stronger your confidence becomes during larger challenges. Advice from others can be valuable, but depending on it for every decision weakens your own judgment. Some people ask 5 different opinions before taking one simple action. This habit creates confusion because every person speaks from different experiences. Listening carefully is wise. Allowing every opinion to replace your own thinking is not. Learn from people without surrendering your ability to decide. Another overlooked reason people lose trust in themselves is because they keep remembering old versions of who they used to be. They continue judging themselves by mistakes made years ago. Meanwhile, they ignore everything they have learned since then. Your past explains your experience. It does not define your ability today. Every lesson you have gained has changed your thinking in ways you may not fully notice. Give yourself credit for the growth that has already happened. Daily discipline quietly creates confidence because it provides evidence. Confidence without evidence disappears quickly. Confidence supported by repeated action becomes difficult to shake. Wake up when you planned. Finish important work even when motivation is low. Keep your word even during busy days. Complete small responsibilities without excuses. Every completed action sends one clear message to your brain. You are becoming someone who follows through. Pay attention to the language you use during difficult moments. Many people say they cannot handle pressure before they have even tried. Others immediately describe themselves as weak after one setback. These statements become instructions that shape future behavior. Replace them with honest but stronger language. Say that the situation is difficult but manageable. Say that more learning is needed instead of declaring defeat. Small changes in language create larger changes in identity over time. There is another practical exercise that strengthens inner confidence. At the end of each day, write down 3 situations that you handled better than before. They do not need to be dramatic achievements. Perhaps you stayed patient during a disagreement. Perhaps you completed an important task without delaying it. Perhaps you admitted a mistake instead of hiding it. These moments matter because they remind your brain that progress is happening even when life feels ordinary. People often believe that fearless individuals never experience uncertainty. That belief is completely false. Even experienced leaders feel doubt before important decisions. The difference is that they do not allow doubt to become the decision maker. They acknowledge uncertainty while continuing to move forward with careful thinking. Courage is often much quieter than people expect. It looks like continuing despite incomplete confidence. Your body also influences self-trust. Standing with balanced posture, looking people in the eyes during conversation, speaking at a calm pace, walking steadily instead of rushing everywhere. These actions affect how you experience yourself. They do not create fake confidence. They reinforce the message that you are capable of handling the present moment. The connection between physical behavior and mental confidence is stronger than many people realize. Another valuable lesson is learning to separate one event from your entire identity. Failing at one task does not make you a failure. Making one poor decision does not mean your judgment is permanently broken. Missing one opportunity does not erase future opportunities. Calm people evaluate individual events instead of attacking their whole character. This protects confidence while still allowing honest improvement. Comparison quietly destroys self-trust because it shifts attention away from your own progress. Every person develops skills at a different speed. Every life contains different responsibilities and different obstacles. Looking at someone else's success without understanding their journey creates unfair expectations. A healthier habit is comparing today's version of yourself with yesterday's version. This comparison produces useful information because it measures actual growth instead of imagined competition. One lesser-known truth is that confidence often follows action rather than preceding it. Many people wait until they feel confident before beginning something important. In reality, confidence usually arrives after taking the first few steps. The brain collects evidence from action. Every completed step weakens uncertainty. Waiting for confidence before acting often means waiting forever. Unexpected setbacks provide the greatest opportunity to strengthen self-trust. A cancelled plan, a financial challenge, a disappointing conversation, a mistake that cannot be undone. These moments force you to rely on your own ability to adapt. Each successful recovery becomes proof that you are stronger than you previously believed. Recovery teaches more about your character than comfort ever can. Protect yourself from the habit of replaying every mistake repeatedly. Reflection is useful when it produces learning. Endless replay produces only exhaustion. Once the lesson has been identified, direct your attention toward improvement. Your future benefits much more from better action than from repeated regret. This simple shift frees emotional energy for meaningful progress. Develop the habit of finishing what you begin whenever possible. Unfinished responsibilities slowly weaken trust because they remind you of promises left incomplete. Completing even small tasks creates a sense of reliability. Your mind begins expecting follow-through instead of delay. That expectation becomes part of your identity. You become someone who can be counted on, especially by yourself. There will always be moments when life feels uncertain. Plans change, people disappoint you, results arrive later than expected. During those times, remember that the strongest source of stability is not perfect circumstances, It is the quiet knowledge that you can face challenges with patience, honesty, and consistent effort. Every day that you choose responsibility over excuses, learning over fear, and steady action over hesitation, you strengthen the relationship with the one person who will remain with you through every season of life. That person is yourself. As that trust grows, difficult moments lose much of their power because you no longer question whether you can endure them. You already know that you can. Chapter 4. Handle pressure without losing your confidence. Pressure is a normal part of every meaningful life. The people who stay calm are not the ones who avoid difficult situations. They are the ones who learn how to think clearly while carrying responsibility. Every challenge asks the same question. Will you let the situation control your behavior, or will you stay steady enough to control your response? The answer is built long before the biggest test arrives. Many people believe pressure appears only during major life events. In reality, it quietly enters ordinary days, a deadline at work, an unexpected expense, a child needing your attention while you are already tired, a conversation that cannot be delayed, several responsibilities arriving at the same time. These moments are not rare. They are part of normal life. Learning to handle them well makes everyday living easier and more enjoyable. One of the biggest mistakes people make under pressure is trying to solve everything at once. The mind begins jumping from one responsibility to another without completing any of them. This creates the feeling of being trapped, even when many of the tasks are manageable. Calm people do something different. They identify the next useful step instead of trying to complete the entire journey in one moment. Progress becomes possible because attention stays focused on one action instead of 10 unfinished thoughts. Your confidence depends greatly on where your attention goes during stressful moments. Some people immediately focus on everything that could go wrong. Others focus on what they can still do with the time and resources available. Both people face the same situation, yet their emotional experience becomes completely different. Confidence grows when attention stays connected to action instead of fear. There is a valuable lesson hidden inside pressure that many people overlook. Pressure reveals habits more than abilities. During calm days, almost anyone can appear patient and organized. Difficult moments expose what has been practiced repeatedly. A person who has developed healthy routines often continues following them even during stress. Someone who relies only on motivation quickly becomes overwhelmed because motivation changes from day to day. Habits remain steady when emotions become unstable. This is why daily preparation matters so much. Organize your workspace before it becomes messy. Keep important information where it is easy to find. Prepare tomorrow's priorities before going to sleep. Finish small responsibilities before they become large ones. These simple actions reduce future pressure because fewer problems are competing for your attention. Calm often begins with good preparation rather than quick thinking. Many people unknowingly make pressure heavier by demanding impossible standards from themselves. They expect every decision to be perfect. They believe one mistake will destroy everything they have built. This unrealistic expectation creates constant tension. Healthy confidence grows from accepting that careful effort matters more than flawless performance. A person who accepts occasional mistakes learns faster because they spend less energy hiding them. Another practical lesson is learning to separate urgency from importance. Not everything that demands immediate attention deserves immediate action. Some situations appear urgent simply because other people are emotional. Before responding, quietly ask yourself what actually requires attention first. This short moment of evaluation protects your energy from being pulled in every direction. It also improves the quality of your decisions because you respond with purpose instead of panic. Notice what happens to your voice during stressful conversations. Many people begin speaking faster without realizing it. Faster speech often leads to unclear thinking. Slow your words slightly. Allow small pauses between important ideas. This gives both you and the other person time to understand the conversation. People often associate steady speech with confidence because it reflects careful thinking rather than emotional rushing. Pressure also changes the way people listen. Under stress, the mind becomes busy preparing its next response instead of understanding what is being said. Valuable information is often missed because attention is divided. Strong communicators develop the habit of listening completely before forming an answer. This reduces misunderstandings and helps solve problems much faster. Listening is not a passive skill. It is an active part of staying calm. There is another habit that quietly weakens confidence during difficult moments. Many people begin apologizing for themselves before they have done anything wrong. They apologize for asking reasonable questions. They apologize for taking time to think. They apologize for trying something new. This constant self-correction slowly teaches the mind that it has little value. Speak with respect, but do not shrink yourself unnecessarily. Confidence grows when your words match your self-respect. A useful daily exercise is practicing small moments of controlled discomfort. Choose the longer line at the store without becoming irritated. Wait patiently without reaching for your phone every minute. Finish one difficult task before rewarding yourself with entertainment. These simple experiences strengthen emotional endurance. They teach your mind that discomfort does not need immediate escape. This skill becomes extremely valuable when larger challenges appear. Another overlooked truth is that confidence is often damaged by unfinished recovery rather than by hard work itself. Many people work continuously without allowing their mind to rest. They mistake exhaustion for dedication. Over time, their judgment becomes slower and their patience becomes weaker. Taking proper breaks is not avoiding responsibility. It protects your ability to perform well over the long term. A rested mind handles pressure far better than an exhausted one. Observe how experienced professionals respond during unexpected problems. They rarely waste time blaming people during the first moments. Their attention goes toward understanding the situation. Blame can wait. Learning cannot. This mindset allows them to solve problems while others remain trapped in frustration. You can practice this same habit every day by asking what needs to happen next, instead of asking who should be blamed first. Your confidence also depends on the promises you keep during ordinary days. Small acts of discipline create quiet strength. Arriving on time, completing work before the deadline, returning phone calls, taking care of your health. These actions seem unrelated to confidence, yet together they build an identity of reliability. Under pressure, your mind remembers these victories. It reminds you that you have successfully handled responsibilities before. Many people fear pressure because they see it as evidence that life is becoming harder. Another perspective is far more useful. Pressure often appears because responsibility is increasing. More responsibility usually means growth is taking place. New opportunities bring new demands. Greater leadership brings greater expectations. Personal development always asks you to become stronger than your previous version. Seeing pressure as part of growth reduces unnecessary resistance. It is also important to guard your energy from constant negativity. Spending every evening discussing problems without searching for solutions trains the mind to expect struggle everywhere. Balance honest conversations about challenges with conversations about improvement. Ask yourself what you learned today. Identify one thing that worked well. Notice one area that became easier than last month. This habit prevents pressure from becoming your entire identity. Another practical technique is limiting the number of decisions you make during high-pressure periods. Create simple routines for everyday tasks. Plan meals in advance when possible. Keep important items in the same place. Follow a consistent morning schedule. Every unnecessary decision uses mental energy. Saving that energy allows you to focus on situations that truly require careful judgment. Pressure also becomes easier to manage when you stop measuring your value by temporary results. A disappointing day does not erase years of growth. One unsuccessful meeting does not define your ability. One setback cannot cancel your potential. Evaluate your progress across months and years rather than single moments. This broader view protects confidence because it recognizes that meaningful growth is always gradual. Another lesson worth remembering is that people around you often respond to your emotional direction. A calm attitude encourages calmer conversations. A steady voice lowers tension. Clear thinking creates clarity in others. This does not mean you control every outcome, but your behavior influences the environment more than you may realize. By managing yourself well, you often make it easier for others to do the same. There will always be seasons when responsibilities arrive faster than expected. Plans may change overnight. Resources may become limited. Unexpected challenges may test your patience and determination. Those moments do not demand perfection. They ask for steadiness. They ask for honesty. They ask for thoughtful action instead of emotional reaction. Every time you continue moving with purpose while pressure surrounds you, your confidence becomes stronger because it is no longer based on easy circumstances. It is based on proven character. That kind of confidence remains steady because it has been earned through daily choices, careful thinking, and consistent action during the moments that matter most. Chapter 5. Release worry that changes nothing today. Worry often feels like preparation, but in most situations it quietly steals the energy needed to solve real problems. A calm person understands the difference between careful planning and endless worrying. Planning leads to action. Worry keeps the mind moving in circles without reaching a useful destination. The more clearly you understand this difference, the easier it becomes to protect your peace while still acting responsibly. Many people believe worry proves they care. They think that carrying stress all day shows commitment to their family, work, or future. The truth is very different. Caring is shown by responsible action. Worry without action changes nothing. It only makes the body tired and the mind distracted. You can deeply care about your responsibilities while refusing to carry unnecessary mental weight. One of the biggest reasons people worry is because they try to control outcomes that have not happened yet. They spend today fighting tomorrow inside their imagination. They rehearse conversations that may never take place. They expect problems before any evidence appears. By the time the day ends, they feel exhausted, even though nothing actually happened. Their energy was consumed by possibilities instead of reality. A practical way to reduce worry is to ask yourself a simple question: what can I actually influence before today ends? That question immediately narrows your attention. Instead of thinking about the next 6 months, you begin thinking about the next useful step. Perhaps you need to make one phone call. Perhaps you need to finish one important task. Perhaps you simply need to rest before making another decision. Whatever the answer is, it belongs to today. That is where your attention creates results. Many worries continue growing because people never examine them closely. They carry them from morning until night without asking whether they deserve that much attention. Take one specific worry and write it down. Then ask what evidence supports it. Ask what evidence does not support it. Ask what action is available today. Very often you will discover that the mind has been treating uncertainty as certainty. That realization alone can reduce a great deal of unnecessary pressure. There is another lesson that deserves careful attention. The human mind naturally remembers unfinished situations more strongly than completed ones. This is why unresolved concerns often return repeatedly throughout the day. The brain keeps reminding you because it wants closure. Instead of becoming frustrated with this process, create small forms of completion whenever possible. Make the phone call. Schedule the appointment, write the plan, organize the paperwork. Even a small step tells your mind that progress has begun, and progress reduces worry more effectively than endless thinking. Notice how worry affects your ability to enjoy ordinary moments. You may be sitting with your family while your thoughts are somewhere else. You may finish a meal without remembering its taste because your attention never left tomorrow's concerns. You may drive home without noticing the familiar streets because your mind was occupied by imaginary situations. Worry quietly steals experiences that can never be repeated. Every day lost to unnecessary mental noise is a day that cannot be lived again. Another overlooked habit is the tendency to collect worries from other people. Some individuals spend every conversation discussing disasters, problems, and fears. They rarely talk about solutions. After spending enough time around this kind of thinking, your own mind begins carrying concerns that never belong to you. This does not mean you stop caring about others. It means you learn to support people without carrying every emotional burden they place in front of you. A peaceful mind also understands that uncertainty is part of normal life. Waiting for complete certainty before feeling calm creates endless frustration because life constantly changes. Jobs change, relationships change, health changes, markets change, weather changes. Plans change. Trying to eliminate every unknown is impossible. Learning to function well while some questions remain unanswered is one of the greatest forms of emotional maturity. Many people unknowingly feed their worries through constant information. Every few minutes they check the news, social media, messages, or updates. Their attention never has an opportunity to settle. The brain stays in a state of continuous alertness because new information keeps arriving. Being informed is valuable. Being flooded with information weakens clear thinking. Set specific times to check important updates instead of allowing them to interrupt every hour of your day. One practical exercise is creating a daily worry period. This may sound unusual, but it teaches the mind an important lesson. Choose 15 minutes at the same time each day to write down every concern. Outside that time, whenever a worry appears, remind yourself that it can wait until the scheduled period. Surprisingly, many concerns disappear before that time arrives because they were temporary thoughts rather than lasting problems. This practice trains your attention instead of allowing your attention to be controlled by random thoughts. Your body often reveals hidden worry before your mind notices it. Tight shoulders, restless sleep, frequent sighing, constant jaw tension, difficulty concentrating. These signs deserve attention. Instead of ignoring them, use them as reminders to slow down. Stretch your muscles. Walk outside for a few minutes. Drink water. Breathe naturally. Small physical adjustments help interrupt the cycle of unnecessary mental pressure. Another important truth is that worrying about mistakes already made cannot improve them. Reflection has value only when it produces learning. Once you have identified the lesson, direct your energy toward better decisions instead of repeated regret. Many people continue punishing themselves long after the event has ended. This habit creates emotional fatigue without producing wisdom. Growth comes from applying lessons, not from repeating disappointment. There is also a difference between responsibility and ownership. You are responsible for your effort, your honesty, your preparation, and your choices. You are not the owner of every outcome. Other people make decisions. Unexpected events happen. Circumstances change without warning. Accepting this reality does not reduce responsibility. It simply prevents you from blaming yourself for events beyond your influence. Observe people who remain steady during uncertain times. They rarely speak in dramatic language. They describe situations accurately. They avoid turning small setbacks into permanent disasters. This habit protects their emotional balance because the mind responds to the words it hears repeatedly. Careful language encourages careful thinking. Exaggerated language increases unnecessary fear. One powerful habit is ending each day by identifying what went well instead of reviewing only what went wrong. The mind naturally notices problems because it wants to protect you. Unless you intentionally notice progress, your brain may overlook it completely. Write down one useful conversation, one completed responsibility, one lesson learned, one kind action. These moments remind you that life contains more than unfinished concerns. Another practical strategy is reducing unnecessary decisions during stressful periods. Too many choices create mental fatigue, and mental fatigue makes worry stronger. Prepare your clothes the night before. Keep your workspace organized. Plan your most important task before the day begins. These simple routines free mental energy for decisions that truly matter. Many people also underestimate the value of physical movement. Sitting with worry for hours often makes thoughts feel heavier. A short walk changes your environment and refreshes your attention. Gentle movement improves circulation and often brings greater mental clarity. Some of your best ideas will arrive after stepping away from the problem instead of staring at it continuously. Your relationships also improve when worry no longer controls your behavior. You become more present during conversations. You listen without secretly thinking about unfinished problems. You notice the expressions on people's faces. You hear the details in their stories. This deeper presence strengthens trust because others feel that you are genuinely with them instead of being trapped inside your own thoughts. One hidden danger of constant worry is that it slowly reduces confidence. The mind begins believing that every future situation will be difficult because it has practiced expecting trouble. Breaking this habit requires repeated evidence that challenges can be handled calmly. Every time you solve a problem without unnecessary panic, your confidence becomes stronger. You begin trusting your ability to adapt instead of fearing every unknown possibility. Do not expect worry to disappear overnight. Like any habit, it weakens through consistent practice. Every day offers another opportunity to choose useful action over endless mental repetition. Some days you will notice the change immediately. Other days the progress will feel slow. Keep practicing anyway. Lasting peace is built through steady choices, not sudden transformation. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Spend it where it creates improvement, rather than where it creates exhaustion. Give your energy to today's responsibilities. Learn from yesterday without living inside it. Prepare wisely for tomorrow without carrying tomorrow's weight before it arrives. As this habit becomes part of your daily life, you will discover something many people never experience. Your mind becomes quieter, not because life has become easier, but because you have learned to stop giving your strength to worries that never deserved it in the first place. Chapter 6. Protect your peace through better choices. Peace is not something that suddenly appears after life becomes perfect. It is built through hundreds of ordinary decisions that most people never notice. Every day you decide what deserves your attention, where your time will go, how you will respond to people, and what kind of habits you will strengthen. These choices may seem small on their own, but together they shape the quality of your mind. A calm life is usually the result of wise decisions repeated consistently. Many people believe they lose their peace because of difficult people or unexpected situations. While those things certainly create challenges, they are rarely the full reason. Much of our inner peace depends on the choices we make after those situations appear. Two people can experience the same disappointment. One continues carrying it for weeks. The other learns from it and moves forward. The difference is not luck. The difference is the decisions made after the event. One of the first choices that protects your peace is deciding what deserves a response. Not every comment requires an answer. Not every disagreement deserves your energy. Not every misunderstanding needs to become a long discussion. Many people create emotional exhaustion because they feel responsible for responding to everything around them. Calm people understand that silence is sometimes the most responsible decision. They save their energy for conversations that truly matter. Every decision carries a hidden cost. Saying yes to one responsibility often means saying no to rest. Spending an hour on unnecessary entertainment may mean losing an hour that could have improved your health, your knowledge, or your relationships. Buying something without planning may create financial pressure later. The most peaceful people regularly ask themselves what each choice will cost tomorrow, instead of focusing only on what it offers today. This simple habit changes the quality of decision-making. Instead of asking what feels good right now, begin asking what will still feel right next week. Temporary comfort often creates long-term stress. Temporary discipline often creates long-term freedom. This principle appears in almost every part of life: healthy eating, saving money, learning new skills, managing relationships, caring for your health. The better choice is not always the easiest one, but it usually creates greater peace later. Many people protect their belongings more carefully than they protect their attention. They lock their doors, protect their money, and secure important documents, yet they allow every notification, every opinion, and every unnecessary distraction to enter their mind without question. Your attention deserves the same level of protection. Every unnecessary interruption pulls your thinking away from what truly matters. A distracted mind becomes a restless mind. One practical habit is deciding how you begin your morning before the day begins. The first 30 minutes often influence the emotional direction of the entire day. Rushing immediately into messages, complaints, or endless information fills the mind before it has become settled. Instead, begin with quiet preparation. Organize your priorities. Drink water. Move your body. Read a few pages that teach you something valuable. These simple actions create stability before outside demands begin competing for your attention. Another choice that protects peace is learning to finish small responsibilities quickly. Unpaid bills, unanswered messages, unfinished paperwork, and postponed decisions slowly gather inside the mind. Each unfinished task quietly asks for attention throughout the day. One task may seem unimportant, but dozens of unfinished tasks create constant mental pressure. Completing small responsibilities early keeps your mind lighter because there is less unfinished business competing for your attention. There is an important lesson that many people never hear. Every repeated choice slowly becomes easier. The brain likes familiar patterns. This works in both directions. Choosing patience repeatedly makes patience more natural. Choosing anger repeatedly makes anger more automatic. Choosing discipline repeatedly makes discipline require less effort over time. Your daily decisions are quietly training tomorrow's habits. Be careful about making decisions while feeling emotionally overwhelmed. Strong emotions narrow your perspective. You may see only one part of the situation while ignoring everything else. Unless immediate action is necessary, allow yourself time to settle before making important choices. Many regrets could have been prevented by waiting until emotions became balanced. Clear thinking rarely appears during emotional storms. It returns after the mind becomes steady again. Your friendships also influence your peace more than many people realize. The people around you shape your expectations, your conversations, and your emotional habits. Spend enough time with people who complain constantly, and your own thinking begins following the same direction. Spend time with thoughtful and responsible people, and your standards naturally improve. Choosing healthy relationships is not about judging others. It is about protecting the direction of your own life. Another practical decision is choosing what enters your mind every day. Books, conversations, videos, music, and social media all leave small impressions. One piece of information may seem harmless, but repeated exposure creates lasting habits of thought. Ask yourself whether what you consume helps you become calmer, wiser, and more capable. If it leaves you feeling constantly anxious or distracted, it deserves less space in your daily routine. Many people lose peace because they say yes too often. They accept responsibilities they cannot realistically manage. They agree to plans they do not have time for. They take on problems that belong to someone else. Eventually, they become overwhelmed and resentful. Learning to say no respectfully is an important life skill. Every healthy boundary protects time, energy, and emotional balance. A respectful no today often prevents unnecessary stress tomorrow. There is another decision that quietly shapes emotional well-being. Decide to solve problems while they are still small. A small misunderstanding becomes a major conflict when ignored for too long. Minor financial issues become larger when avoided. Small health concerns become more serious when neglected. Facing problems early often requires less effort than avoiding them. Peace grows where responsibility becomes a daily habit. Your schedule also reflects your choices. Many people fill every hour with activity and then wonder why they feel mentally exhausted. A peaceful life includes moments with no urgent demands. Quiet time allows the mind to recover. It gives you space to think clearly instead of moving endlessly from one task to another. Rest is not something you earn only after complete exhaustion. It is something you wisely include before exhaustion appears. Observe how often you rush through ordinary moments. Eating too quickly, walking too quickly, speaking too quickly, reading too quickly. Constant rushing teaches the mind that life is always an emergency. Slow down where speed is unnecessary. Taste your food. Listen carefully during conversations. Finish one task before beginning another. These ordinary choices gradually reshape your emotional rhythm. Another valuable practice is choosing honesty over appearance. Some people spend enormous energy trying to look successful while quietly struggling inside. They avoid asking questions because they fear looking inexperienced. They hide mistakes because they fear judgment. Honest people learn faster because they allow themselves to improve. Protecting your image is exhausting. Building your character creates lasting confidence. One overlooked choice is deciding how you end your day. Many people fall asleep while reviewing worries or scrolling endlessly through information that leaves them unsettled. Instead, create an evening routine that prepares your mind for rest. Put away unnecessary distractions. Reflect on one lesson learned. Prepare for tomorrow. Let your final thoughts move toward gratitude for progress, instead of frustration over imperfections. This simple routine improves both sleep and emotional recovery. Another lesson worth remembering is that peace grows through consistency rather than intensity. You do not need dramatic changes every week. You need reliable decisions every day. Drinking enough water, keeping your promises, speaking respectfully, arriving on time, finishing important work, taking care of your health. These ordinary actions build extraordinary stability because they strengthen trust in yourself. Life will continue presenting situations that test your patience. Some people will disappoint you. Unexpected problems will appear. Plans will change without warning. You cannot remove every challenge from your path. You can decide how you will meet those challenges. Each thoughtful decision becomes another layer of emotional strength. Each responsible action becomes another reason to remain calm. Protecting your peace does not require escaping the world. It requires becoming wiser about the choices you make inside the world. Every decision either supports the life you hope to build or quietly pulls you away from it. Choose habits that strengthen your mind. Choose conversations that improve understanding. Choose responsibilities that match your values. Choose actions that allow you to respect yourself when the day ends. As these choices become part of your daily routine, peace will no longer depend on perfect circumstances. It will become a steady result of the way you choose to live each ordinary day. Chapter 7. Face every challenge with quiet confidence. Quiet confidence creates stronger decisions than loud certainty. A calm person does not need to prove strength through dramatic words or emotional reactions. Real confidence is revealed by steady behavior during difficult moments. It allows you to stay focused on what needs to be done instead of becoming distracted by fear, pressure, or the opinions of others. Every challenge becomes easier to manage when your attention stays on your actions rather than your emotions. Many people misunderstand confidence because they connect it with personality. They believe confident people are always outgoing, fearless, or naturally comfortable in every situation. Real confidence has very little to do with personality. Some of the strongest people speak very little. They listen carefully. They observe patiently. They make thoughtful decisions without needing constant attention. Their strength comes from self-control, not from being the loudest person in the room. One reason challenges feel overwhelming is because people often measure themselves against the size of the problem instead of measuring themselves against their own ability to grow. A difficult situation may be new, but that does not mean you are powerless. Every skill you possess today was once unfamiliar. Every responsibility you handle now once seemed difficult. Growth has always followed the same pattern. You begin without complete confidence, you practice with patience, and over time, the unfamiliar becomes normal. There is an important habit that helps you remain steady during pressure. Learn to slow your first judgment about every difficult situation. Many challenges appear larger during the first few minutes, simply because they arrive unexpectedly. Give yourself time to understand what is actually happening before deciding how serious it truly is. You may discover that the situation is uncomfortable but manageable. This small delay protects you from making emotional decisions based on incomplete understanding. Another valuable lesson is learning to separate difficulty from danger. These two things are not the same. Speaking in front of people may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is not danger. Learning a new skill may create uncertainty, but uncertainty is not failure. Having an honest conversation may feel stressful, but stress does not automatically mean something is wrong. The mind often reacts to unfamiliar situations as though they are threats. Quiet confidence grows when you teach yourself to recognize this difference. Pay attention to how you prepare before entering demanding situations. Many people spend more time worrying than preparing. They imagine every possible mistake while ignoring practical actions that would improve their performance. Preparation creates confidence because it replaces guessing with readiness. Read the material before the meeting. Practice your presentation aloud. Organize your notes. Review the facts. Confidence grows naturally when preparation becomes a habit instead of an afterthought. One overlooked truth is that challenges rarely require perfection. They usually require presence. People often become so focused on avoiding mistakes that they stop paying attention to what is happening in front of them. They miss important details because their mind is busy protecting their image. A calm person stays present. They notice the conversation. They observe the environment. They adjust as new information appears. This flexibility is far more valuable than trying to perform perfectly. Many people become discouraged because they expect progress to happen in a straight line. Real improvement rarely follows that path. Some days feel productive, other days feel slow. One conversation goes well, while another becomes difficult. This does not mean you are moving backward. It simply means learning is taking place. Quiet confidence allows you to continue improving without demanding immediate success from every effort. Another practical habit is refusing to let one difficult moment define the rest of your day. A disappointing meeting does not need to ruin your evening. One mistake during the morning does not need to influence every decision afterward. Learn to treat each situation as a separate event. This protects your emotional balance because you stop carrying unnecessary frustration into places where it does not belong. Your posture and movement also influence how you experience challenges. Walk with steady steps instead of rushing. Sit with balance instead of collapsing into your chair. Look at people while they speak. These actions do not solve problems by themselves, but they help your mind remain composed. The body often sends signals to the brain about how to interpret a situation. Calm physical behavior supports calm mental behavior. Another important lesson is learning to accept that some people will misunderstand you no matter how carefully you explain yourself. Trying to gain approval from everyone creates constant emotional pressure. Quiet confidence allows you to communicate honestly while accepting that complete agreement is impossible. Focus on being respectful, clear, and responsible. Let your character speak louder than your desire to impress others. Many challenges become easier when you stop asking whether you feel ready and start asking whether you are willing to learn. Readiness is often impossible to measure. Learning is always possible. A willingness to improve keeps you moving even when confidence feels incomplete. Every attempt teaches something valuable. Every experience expands your understanding. This approach turns uncertainty into education instead of fear. One practical exercise is reviewing past difficulties that you successfully overcame. Most people remember the pain, but forget the growth. Think about responsibilities that once seemed impossible, but now feel ordinary. Perhaps it was your first job, your first public presentation, your first major decision. At the time, those experiences felt overwhelming. Today, they are simply part of your story. This reminder teaches your mind that today's challenge may one day become tomorrow's normal responsibility. Another hidden source of confidence is reliability. People trust themselves more when they consistently follow through on commitments. Finish what you begin whenever possible. Arrive when you promised. Complete responsibilities even when no one is watching. Every fulfilled commitment strengthens your belief that you can depend on yourself. That belief becomes extremely valuable during uncertain times because your confidence rests on evidence rather than wishful thinking. It is also helpful to recognize that emotional strength is often quiet. Some people expect courage to feel exciting or dramatic. In everyday life, courage usually appears as calm persistence. It is choosing to continue working after receiving criticism. It is admitting a mistake without making excuses. It is having an honest conversation instead of avoiding it. It is remaining respectful while others become emotional. These ordinary acts require tremendous inner strength, even though they may appear simple from the outside. Observe experienced craftspeople. teachers, doctors, or business owners. Many of them work without unnecessary drama. They have learned that staying calm allows them to notice important details. They do not waste energy proving their ability. Their attention stays on the quality of their work. You can apply this same principle in every area of life. Let your effort become louder than your words. There will also be times when you genuinely do not know the answer. Quiet confidence does not pretend otherwise. It allows you to say that you need more information. It allows you to ask thoughtful questions. It allows you to learn without feeling embarrassed. People often respect honesty far more than false certainty. Admitting what you do not know creates opportunities to become wiser. Another useful practice is limiting how often you replay difficult conversations after they end. Many people spend hours analyzing every sentence they spoke. They imagine better responses long after the moment has passed. Reflection has value when it leads to improvement. Endless replay only increases self-doubt. Learn the lesson, make the adjustment, and direct your attention back toward the present. Challenges also become more manageable when your life includes healthy routines outside of stressful moments. Good sleep, regular movement, balanced meals, meaningful conversations, and time for quiet reflection all strengthen your ability to remain steady. These habits may appear unrelated to confidence, yet they provide the physical and mental foundation needed to handle pressure well. A tired mind reacts differently than a well-cared-for mind. One of the strongest forms of confidence is patience. It allows you to continue making wise decisions even when results are delayed. Many worthwhile goals require months or years of consistent effort. Becoming discouraged after a few difficult weeks often ends progress before success has time to develop. Quiet confidence keeps working while waiting for results. It values steady improvement more than immediate recognition. As life moves forward, new challenges will continue appearing. Some will test your patience. Others will test your skills. A few will test your character. Do not measure yourself by how comfortable those moments feel. Measure yourself by the quality of your response. Every thoughtful action strengthens your ability to face the next challenge. Every responsible decision becomes another reason to trust yourself. Quiet confidence is not built through easy days. It is built by meeting ordinary and extraordinary difficulties with clear thinking, steady effort, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward, one meaningful step at a time. Chapter 8. Turn daily stress into personal strength. Daily stress does not have to become daily suffering. The same experiences that drain one person can quietly strengthen another. The difference is not found in easier circumstances. It is found in the habits that shape the mind before, during, and after stressful moments. Every ordinary challenge gives you an opportunity to become a little steadier, a little wiser, and a little more capable than you were yesterday. Many people treat stress as an enemy that must disappear before life can improve. That expectation creates disappointment because responsibility naturally brings pressure. Work requires effort. Raising a family requires patience. Learning new skills requires persistence. Building a meaningful life will always include moments that test your endurance. Instead of asking how to remove every stressful experience, begin asking how each experience can teach you something useful. That question changes your relationship with difficulty. One of the most practical lessons is understanding that stress often appears when your demands become greater than your current system. This does not always mean you have too much work. Sometimes it means your routine is no longer supporting your responsibilities. A person with poor sleep, disorganized planning, and constant distractions will feel overwhelmed much sooner than someone with healthy daily habits. Before blaming the amount of work, examine the way you are managing your day. Start by observing where your energy disappears. Many people believe they are exhausted because they work too much. In reality, much of their energy is spent switching from one task to another without finishing anything. They answer messages while trying to complete important work. They interrupt themselves every few minutes to check notifications. They begin several projects but complete very few. Every interruption forces the mind to start again. By evening, they feel tired without making meaningful progress. Protecting your attention is one of the simplest ways to reduce unnecessary stress. Another overlooked truth is that stress grows faster in an unorganized environment. A cluttered desk, misplaced documents, forgotten appointments, and unfinished responsibilities quietly create mental pressure throughout the day. The brain keeps reminding you of everything that remains incomplete. Taking 15 minutes each day to organize your surroundings can reduce far more stress than many people expect. Order in your environment often creates order in your thinking. There is also great value in learning the difference between effort and struggle. Effort means giving your full attention to meaningful work. Struggle often means fighting against reality instead of working with it. For example, accepting that a difficult project will require several days allows you to plan wisely. Refusing to accept that reality creates frustration because you expect quick results from work that naturally takes time. Accepting reality does not weaken determination. It strengthens practical thinking. Many people unknowingly increase their stress by carrying every responsibility alone. They believe asking for help is a sign of weakness. In truth, wise people understand the value of cooperation. Seeking guidance from someone with more experience can save hours of confusion. Sharing responsibilities fairly strengthens relationships and prevents unnecessary exhaustion. Independence is valuable, but refusing support when it is available often creates avoidable pressure. A practical habit that transforms stress into strength is reviewing difficult days with curiosity instead of frustration. At the end of the day, ask yourself what challenged you most. Then ask, what skill would have made that situation easier? Perhaps better planning would have helped. Perhaps clearer communication was needed. Perhaps more patience would have improved the outcome. Every stressful experience contains information that can improve tomorrow if you are willing to study it honestly. Another important lesson is learning to recover before you become completely exhausted. Many people continue pushing themselves until they lose focus, patience, and motivation. Recovery is much more effective when it happens regularly instead of only after burnout. A short walk between tasks, a few quiet minutes away from screens, stretching your body, or simply drinking water slowly can refresh your attention. These small breaks protect the quality of your work and reduce emotional strain. Your expectations also influence the amount of stress you experience. People often become frustrated because they expect every day to unfold exactly as planned. Real life rarely follows perfect schedules. Meetings change, traffic delays you. Technology fails, Someone becomes sick. Unexpected events are part of normal living. Flexible thinking allows you to adjust without feeling that the entire day has been ruined. Adaptability is one of the strongest forms of emotional resilience. There is another practical principle that deserves attention. The brain becomes calmer when it knows what comes next. Uncertainty often creates unnecessary tension. This is why creating simple routines is so powerful. Decide what time you will wake up. Plan your most important work before beginning the day. Keep regular times for meals and rest. These routines reduce decision fatigue and free your attention for challenges that truly require careful thinking. Many people believe strength means never feeling tired or discouraged. Real strength is much more realistic. It means continuing to act wisely even when emotions fluctuate. Some mornings you will feel energetic. Other mornings you may feel slow. Your feelings deserve acknowledgement, but they do not need to control your behavior. Consistent action during ordinary days builds a kind of strength that remains dependable even when motivation changes. Another overlooked source of stress is unfinished communication. Avoiding important conversations often creates greater pressure than having them. A respectful discussion may feel uncomfortable for a few minutes, but silence can create weeks of misunderstanding. Learn to speak honestly without becoming aggressive. Clear communication prevents small problems from quietly becoming much larger ones. Pay close attention to the way you react after making mistakes. Some people spend the rest of the day criticizing themselves for one error. Their focus shifts away from improvement and towards self-punishment. This habit increases stress while reducing learning. A healthier response is identifying what happened, correcting it if possible, and deciding how to avoid repeating it. This approach protects both confidence and emotional balance. Your physical health quietly influences your ability to manage pressure. Dehydration reduces concentration. Poor sleep weakens patience. Long periods without movement make the body feel heavier and the mind less alert. These basic needs are often ignored because they seem too simple. Yet simple habits repeated daily create powerful results. Caring for your body is not separate from caring for your mind. The two work together every hour of the day. Another valuable practice is reducing the habit of rushing. Constant hurry teaches your brain that every moment is urgent. This creates tension even during ordinary activities. Walk with purpose instead of panic. Eat without rushing through every meal. Complete one responsibility before beginning another. Slowing unnecessary speed allows your nervous system to remain steadier throughout the day. There is also strength in recognizing your limits without using them as excuses. Everyone has a different amount of energy, experience, and time. Honest self-awareness allows you to plan responsibly. Overcommitting creates unnecessary stress because your schedule becomes impossible to manage. Choosing fewer responsibilities and completing them well often creates better results than trying to do everything at once. Many people overlook the emotional value of finishing difficult tasks early. Delaying important work keeps it active in the mind all day. Completing it creates relief and increases confidence. Begin your day with the responsibility that requires the greatest focus. Once it is finished, the remaining tasks usually feel much lighter. This simple habit changes the emotional direction of the entire day. Stress also becomes easier to manage when you stop treating every setback as a personal failure. Some challenges exist simply because life is unpredictable. A delayed flight does not reflect your character. Bad weather is not a judgment of your effort. Someone else's poor decision is not always your responsibility. Learn to separate what belongs to you from what belongs to circumstances. This prevents unnecessary emotional burdens. Another practical exercise is keeping a record of challenges you successfully handled. Write down situations that once felt difficult but are now part of your normal routine. Reading this list reminds you that growth is already happening. The responsibilities that seem overwhelming today may one day feel ordinary because your abilities continue expanding through experience. The strongest people are rarely those with the easiest lives. They are often the ones who learn to use ordinary pressure as daily practice. Every demanding conversation taught them better communication. Every unexpected setback improved their adaptability. Every busy season strengthened their organization. Every disappointment refined their judgment. They did not waste difficult experiences. They allowed those experiences to educate them. As each day presents new responsibilities, remember that stress itself does not decide who you become. Your response does. Every thoughtful adjustment, every disciplined habit, every lesson learned from difficulty adds another layer of personal strength. Over time, you stop fearing pressure because you recognize it as an opportunity to sharpen your character, improve your habits, and deepen your understanding of yourself. Life may continue placing challenges in front of you, but those challenges will no longer define your peace. Instead, they will become the quiet training that prepares you to face the next day with greater wisdom, stronger discipline, and lasting inner stability. Chapter 9. Practice calm until it becomes natural. Calm is not a personality trait that only a few people receive. It is a daily skill that becomes stronger through repeated practice. Every steady response, every thoughtful decision, and every moment of self-control teaches the mind a new pattern. Over time, those patterns become part of your character. What once required great effort slowly begins to feel natural because your mind has learned a better way to respond. Many people admire calm individuals without noticing the years of practice behind their behavior. They see someone handling pressure with confidence and assume it happens automatically. They do not see the countless ordinary moments where that person chose patience over frustration, discipline over impulse, and thoughtful action over emotional reaction. Every peaceful habit begins as a deliberate choice before it becomes an effortless one. One of the greatest misunderstandings about emotional control is believing that calm should appear only during major problems. Real progress begins in ordinary moments, waiting in a long line, listening to someone who speaks slowly, sitting in traffic, dealing with a delayed appointment. These situations may seem unimportant, yet they provide daily opportunities to strengthen your emotional habits. Small moments prepare you for larger ones. Your brain learns through repetition much more than through intention. Telling yourself to stay calm has limited value unless your actions repeatedly support that goal. Every time you pause before speaking, your mind remembers that experience. Every time you solve a disagreement respectfully, another healthy pattern becomes stronger. Every time you remain steady while others become emotional, you teach yourself that calm is possible even under pressure. There is an important lesson that many people overlook. Habits are formed by what you practice most often, not by what you admire most deeply. You may admire patience, but if impatience is practiced every day, impatience becomes your natural response. You may value discipline, but if delay becomes your daily habit, delay becomes automatic. Your repeated actions quietly shape your future behavior, whether you notice them or not. This is why consistency matters far more than intensity. One perfect day cannot replace weeks of careless habits. Lasting change comes from small actions repeated faithfully. Spend a few minutes each morning organizing your thoughts. Take a calm breath before entering important conversations. Finish one responsibility before starting another. These actions seem simple, but they gradually transform the way your mind responds to everyday life. Another practical habit is slowing the pace of your routine where speed is unnecessary. Many people hurry through simple activities without realizing how that constant rushing affects their emotions. They eat too quickly, interrupt conversations, move from task to task without stopping, and expect immediate results from everything they do. This pattern teaches the brain to remain tense. Deliberately slowing ordinary actions helps retrain your nervous system toward steadiness. Notice how calm people move during busy situations. They are not lazy, yet they rarely appear rushed. Their movements have purpose. They focus on the task in front of them instead of scattering their attention everywhere. This is not because they have fewer responsibilities. It is because they have learned that rushing often creates mistakes that require even more time to correct. A valuable exercise is choosing one daily activity as your practice period. It could be preparing breakfast, washing dishes, organizing your desk, or walking to work. During that activity, give your full attention to what you are doing. Resist the urge to multitask. Observe your surroundings. Notice your breathing. Finish the activity completely before moving to the next one. This trains your attention to remain where your body already is. Another overlooked lesson is that calm grows through recovery as much as through effort. Many people work hard all day, but never give their mind a chance to reset. They carry yesterday's tension into today, and today's tension into tomorrow. Recovery is not wasted time. It allows the mind to return to a balanced state where good decisions become easier. Quiet reflection, meaningful conversation, reading something educational, or spending time outdoors can all help restore mental clarity. Your reactions during disappointment deserve careful attention. Some people allow one unexpected event to change the mood of their entire day. Others acknowledge the disappointment, but continue behaving according to their values. This difference is created by practice. Every time you refuse to let one setback control your entire attitude, your emotional stability becomes stronger. There is also value in practicing calm before you need it. Athletes train before competitions. Musicians rehearse before performances. Skilled workers prepare before difficult projects. Emotional strength follows the same principle. Do not wait until a crisis appears before trying to become patient. Build that habit during peaceful days. Then it will be available when life becomes demanding. Another useful practice is creating small moments of silence throughout your day. Many people fill every empty minute with music, videos, conversations, or endless information. Their minds rarely experience stillness. A few quiet minutes allow your thoughts to settle naturally. During those moments, you often notice ideas and solutions that remained hidden while your attention was constantly occupied. Pay attention to your daily routines, because routines quietly shape your emotional life. Waking at a consistent time, preparing for the day with intention, eating regular meals, keeping your environment organized, and ending the evening peacefully all strengthen inner stability. These habits may not seem directly connected to calmness, yet together they create an environment where emotional balance becomes easier to maintain. Many people become discouraged because they expect visible improvement every day. Emotional growth rarely works that way. Some changes become noticeable only after weeks or months of consistent practice. You may suddenly realize that a situation which once caused great frustration no longer affects you in the same way. That quiet change is the result of many small choices made over time. Another lesson worth remembering is that calm is strengthened by honesty. Admit when you are tired, recognize when you need rest, accept when you made a poor decision. Honest self-awareness prevents unnecessary emotional struggle because you stop pretending everything is fine while ignoring what truly needs attention. Improvement always begins with accurate observation. One practical exercise is reviewing your day without judging yourself harshly. At the end of each evening, remember one situation where you remained calm. Then identify one situation where you could improve tomorrow. Keep your observations simple and specific. This daily reflection gradually increases self-awareness. As awareness grows, intentional change becomes much easier. Your environment also deserves careful attention. A chaotic schedule, constant noise, and endless distractions make calm more difficult to practice. Create small areas of order wherever possible. Keep your workspace tidy. Plan tomorrow before going to sleep. Remove unnecessary interruptions during important work. Every organized habit supports a more organized mind. Another hidden truth is that emotional habits spread from one part of life to another. The patience you practice with your family influences the way you handle work. The discipline you develop while managing your time improves your financial decisions. The calm you build during ordinary conversations helps you remain steady during unexpected challenges. Growth in one area often strengthens many others. Do not underestimate the value of ordinary days. People often believe personal growth happens only during dramatic moments. Most transformation actually occurs during quiet routines that are repeated consistently. A respectful conversation, a completed responsibility, a thoughtful decision, a patient response. These simple moments rarely receive attention, yet they slowly build remarkable character. Another important principle is refusing to measure your progress against someone else's journey. Every person develops emotional strength at a different pace. Comparing yourself with others often creates unnecessary frustration. Compare your current responses with the way you reacted 6 months ago or last year. Notice where you have become more patient, more thoughtful, or more disciplined. Those improvements deserve recognition because they show real growth. Your calm will also influence the people around you. Family members often feel safer speaking with someone who listens carefully. Friends trust those who remain balanced during difficult conversations. Co-workers appreciate individuals who think clearly instead of adding unnecessary confusion. You may never realize how much your steady presence helps others, but calm behavior quietly creates stability wherever it appears. There will always be situations that test your patience. Some days you will respond well. Other days you will notice areas that still need improvement. Accept both experiences as part of learning. The goal is not to become someone who never feels frustration. The goal is to become someone who knows how to return to balance more quickly each time life becomes difficult. Every calm response strengthens the next one. Every disciplined action reinforces the habit behind it. Every ordinary day gives you another opportunity to practice the kind of person you want to become. Eventually, your peaceful reactions will no longer feel forced because they have been repeated so often that they become your natural way of living. At that point, calm is no longer something you try to achieve. It becomes a quiet part of your character that guides your decisions, shapes your relationships, and gives you steady strength through every season of life. Chapter 10. Create a life filled with steady peace. Steady peace is created by the way you live every ordinary day. It is not built by one perfect decision or one successful year. It grows through small actions that quietly shape your mind, your character, and your daily habits. Every thoughtful choice becomes another brick in the foundation of a peaceful life. The strongest peace is not temporary comfort. It is the confidence that you can face both calm days and difficult days without losing yourself. Many people spend years searching for peace in changing circumstances. They believe a better job, more money, greater recognition, or fewer responsibilities will finally make them feel settled. While these things may improve certain parts of life, lasting peace cannot depend entirely on conditions that constantly change. Real stability comes from learning how to think wisely, act responsibly, and remain balanced regardless of what happens around you. This is a skill that grows through practice rather than luck. One of the most important lessons is understanding that peace and responsibility can exist together. Some people imagine that a peaceful life means having no deadlines, no challenges, and no difficult conversations. That is not how real life works. A meaningful life naturally includes responsibility. Peace comes from handling those responsibilities with order instead of confusion. The goal is not to remove every demand from your life. The goal is to become the kind of person who can carry responsibility without becoming emotionally exhausted. Your daily routine quietly determines the quality of your inner life. The first hour of the morning, the way you organize your work, the habits you repeat during the afternoon, and the way you finish your evening all influence your emotional balance. A peaceful life is usually supported by a peaceful routine. This does not require perfection. It requires consistency. Simple habits performed faithfully often create greater change than dramatic efforts that disappear after a few days. Begin each morning with intention instead of reaction. Decide what deserves your attention before the world begins competing for it. Review your priorities. Prepare yourself mentally for the day. Avoid filling the first moments with unnecessary distractions. A calm beginning often creates a calmer direction for everything that follows. The way you start your day quietly influences the decisions you make during the hours ahead. Another valuable principle is protecting your energy with the same care that you protect your time. Energy determines the quality of your thinking, your patience, and your relationships. Every unnecessary argument, every unhealthy habit, and every hour of poor rest quietly reduces your ability to live wisely. Treat your physical and emotional energy as valuable resources. Use them where they create growth, instead of where they create unnecessary exhaustion. Many people underestimate the importance of keeping promises to themselves. Each promise you keep strengthens self-respect. Every promise you break without reason weakens trust in your own character. This is why simple commitments matter so much. Wake up when you planned. Complete the responsibility you accepted. Continue learning, even after a busy day. These ordinary actions build quiet confidence because they provide evidence that your words and your actions move in the same direction. There is another lesson that becomes more important with experience. Learn to leave each day where it belongs. Some people carry yesterday's disappointments into today. Others borrow tomorrow's worries before they arrive. As a result, they rarely experience the present moment fully. A peaceful life requires learning how to close one day before beginning another. Reflect on what you learned, correct what needs improvement, then allow your mind to return to today's responsibilities instead of carrying unnecessary emotional weight across time. Your relationships also shape the peace you experience. Strong relationships are built through respect, honesty, patience, and careful listening. They are not maintained by winning every disagreement. Learn to understand before trying to be understood. Give people your full attention during conversations. Speak truthfully without unnecessary harshness. Show appreciation more often than criticism. These simple habits strengthen trust, and trust creates emotional stability within families, friendships, and workplaces. Another overlooked principle is creating enough space in your life for thoughtful reflection. Constant activity leaves little opportunity to understand yourself. Set aside quiet moments to examine your decisions, your habits, and your direction. Ask whether your daily actions match the person you hope to become. Honest reflection prevents small mistakes from quietly becoming lifelong patterns. It keeps your life moving with purpose instead of drifting without intention. Many people believe peace depends on always feeling positive. Real emotional maturity is much more practical. There will be days of disappointment, frustration, uncertainty, and sadness. Peace does not require pretending those emotions do not exist. It requires responding to them wisely. Feelings deserve attention, but they should not become permanent leaders of your decisions. A balanced life allows emotions to be acknowledged, while values continue guiding your actions. Another important habit is learning to celebrate quiet progress. Modern life often encourages people to notice only dramatic achievements, yet the most meaningful improvements usually happen gradually. Becoming more patient during conversations, handling responsibility with less stress, recovering more quickly after setbacks, speaking more thoughtfully, managing time more effectively. These changes may not receive public recognition, but they represent real personal growth. Notice them, appreciate them. They remind you that consistent effort is producing lasting results. Financial habits also influence emotional peace more than many people expect. Living beyond your means creates constant pressure that affects many areas of life. Responsible spending, regular saving, and thoughtful planning reduce unnecessary stress because they provide stability during unexpected situations. Financial discipline is not only about money, it is also about creating freedom from avoidable worry. Another lesson worth remembering is that your attention follows your priorities. If every small distraction receives equal importance, your life will begin feeling scattered. Decide what truly deserves your best energy. Protect time for meaningful work. Protect time for family. Protect time for learning. Protect time for rest. A peaceful life rarely happens by accident. It is built by deciding what matters most and giving those priorities the attention they deserve. Be willing to adjust your habits as your life changes. The routines that served you 5 years ago may no longer fit your current responsibilities. Growth requires regular evaluation. Ask yourself what habits continue helping you and which ones quietly hold you back. Improvement does not always require adding something new. Sometimes it requires letting go of patterns that no longer support the life you are building. Another practical principle is avoiding unnecessary complexity. People often believe that better results require more complicated systems. In reality, simple routines consistently followed usually produce stronger outcomes. Keep your goals clear. Organize your responsibilities. Focus on one important task at a time. Reduce unnecessary decisions wherever possible. Simplicity creates room for clearer thinking and calmer living. Your words also shape the atmosphere around you. Encourage more than you criticize. Listen more than you interrupt. Speak with honesty instead of exaggeration. The language you use every day influences both your own thinking and the people who hear you. Calm communication creates stronger relationships because it replaces confusion with understanding. There will always be seasons that challenge your patience. Responsibilities will increase. Unexpected problems will appear. Some plans will succeed while others will not. Through all of these experiences, remember that your greatest source of stability is not the absence of difficulty. It is the character you have patiently built through years of thoughtful choices. Every lesson you have learned, every habit you have strengthened, and every challenge you have overcome becomes part of the person you carry into tomorrow. A peaceful life is not measured by how few problems you face. It is measured by the quality of the person you become while facing them. Calm thinking allows wiser decisions. Responsible habits create dependable confidence. Honest reflection keeps your direction clear. Meaningful relationships provide encouragement during difficult seasons. Daily discipline protects your future. These principles work together, quietly strengthening every part of your life. As you continue moving forward, remember that no single day determines your future. One difficult morning does not erase months of progress. One mistake does not cancel years of learning. Return to your values. Return to your healthy habits. Return to the practices that have strengthened your mind throughout this journey. Let each ordinary day become another opportunity to live with patience, responsibility, kindness, and clear purpose. The greatest reward of this way of living is not simply feeling calm during peaceful moments. It is knowing that even when life becomes uncertain, you have built the habits, the character, and the wisdom needed to remain steady. That kind of peace cannot be purchased, borrowed, or given by someone else. It is earned through countless daily decisions that reflect the person you have chosen to become. As those decisions continue shaping your life, you will discover that lasting peace is no longer something you are searching for. It has become the quiet strength that guides every step you take. Today, you have learned that staying calm is not about having a perfect life. It is about making better choices every single day. Every moment you pause before reacting, every time you choose clear thinking over panic, And every decision you make with patience instead of fear makes you stronger than you were yesterday. Real peace is built one day at a time, and that journey begins with the small habits you practice after this video ends. Do not let these lessons remain only words you listen to. Put them into your daily life. Practice them during ordinary moments, because those ordinary moments prepare you for life's biggest challenges. The more you repeat these habits, the more natural they will become, until staying calm is no longer something you try to do. It becomes part of who you are. Come back to this audiobook whenever life feels overwhelming, whenever your mind becomes restless, or whenever you need a reminder of your own inner strength. Every time you listen again, you will notice a lesson that speaks to the person you are becoming today. If this audiobook helped you see life differently, support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs more peace in their life, and subscribing for more powerful audiobooks that will help you build stronger habits, a calmer mind, and a better future. Remember this: the strongest person is not the one who controls every situation. The strongest person is the one who can calmly control themselves in every situation. Until our next audiobook, keep growing, keep learning, and keep choosing calm every single day.